Hello, I'm Liam Dan, host of the NZ Herald podcast Money Talks. We're back for our 5th season with an exciting range of guests. You can listen to Money Talks at nzherald.co.nz or on your favourite podcast app. New episodes every Saturday.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Start with basketball this afternoon, and the sport just continues to grow in popularity in New Zealand. Participation numbers are up and growing, especially among kids. The local National Basketball League for the men is underway. The women will follow suit in July. All the metrics are looking really good. Television numbers, crowd sizes, sponsorship dollars, and the renewal of significant sponsorships, and the quality of the games as well, which is something we can't disregard as well. General Manager of the leagues for Basketball New Zealand is Maree Taylor, who joins us now. Maree, thanks for taking the time for a chat this afternoon. When you look back on the first couple of rounds of the Men's National Basketball League competition, how happy are you with the way things have played out so far?
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're really happy. The first game going into overtime, and I guess the rest of the games were close and exciting games. We had 3 sellout crowds, Christchurch, Nelson and Wellington. The crowds and the viewership on Sky were both great for round 1.
It's there are a lot of measures of success you've talked about there. When you sit back after a weekend, or even I guess at any time, and think, okay, are we being successful here? What are the measures that you typically use when you assess the success of the leagues?
Yeah, we take the positive feedback from our fans. I mean, that's really important. I guess the fans turning up in crowds to watch games, but also fans watching through the viewership. We also base it off our commercial partners that we have. So those are the main measures that we use for success.
Do you think the recent success of the Breakers and them going all the way to the finals of the Australian National Basketball League and kind of taking basketball fans and sports fans on a bit of a journey with them, do you think that flowed positively into the start of the NZNBL season?
Oh, for sure. And the results and the performance from the New Zealand Breakers was a great opener to the NZNBL. New Zealand sat back and watched the New Zealand players from the ANBL showcasing their talent, and this enabled those following the game, and I guess the players as well, to continue their basketball journey into the NBL.
Yeah.
No, for sure, it was great.
Yeah, and it's been good to see some of those Breakers players as well turning out for their respective sides. And I want to ask you about the competition in terms of how competitive it is, because I guess nobody wants to see a competition where there's one team that just clears out from the rest, or a couple of teams that right from the start look like they're going to be easy beats. How important is it, Maree, that you have an even, closely contested league?
It's very important. The biggest thing in sport is when a fan goes to a game or watches the game through the broadcast and genuinely believes their team has a chance to win. That's why we strive for an evenly balanced competition.
And imports have always been a big part of basketball in New Zealand, and I guess it's a bit of hit and miss for some of these clubs as they try to get the right mix and find the right imports. Is there an ideal mix for the number of imports in a team compared to the number of homegrown players for you?
We've had a range of numbers, I guess, across the many years, but we're really happy with where the competition is at currently with our 3 imports. We think this is a balance that currently is working. We view this each season in consultation with our team. So, we do get that feedback, and each season, we just sort of work through with the teams, what we think we're wanting for that season.
So the games are all on Sky, which has been great. It's been great to get the chance to watch them, and I think the coverage might even have been increased from previous years. How important is that broadcast coverage that you get for the ongoing health of the league?
Oh my God, it's crucial. If we are not on broadcast or TV, we're not being seen. Sky can see that we're an emerging sport. We want to be playing with the big sport, so to speak, but we know we have to work hard. Sky is a major partner of all of our national leagues and teams. We just really want to be working hard so that we are up there with those other major sports.
I guess the other way that you get seen, and particularly these days, and by younger viewers in particular, is through social media. And it seems that there's a real increase in social media presence of the league, the individual clubs. Is that deliberate? Is that something that you're keen to see continued and to see increased?
Social media is definitely part of one of the areas that we have looked at and increased for the season. The number one sport of consumption for under 35s is in New Zealand is basketball. So a big part of their daily life is social media. For figures in round one, we hit record levels. So, for example, we had 250,000 video views in round one, and we are really happy. I mean, shout out to our social media team with what they've been able to achieve. And, yeah, I look forward to the rest of those numbers growing as the season goes on.
Absolutely. Brilliant numbers. I've been to a couple of Saints games this season, Maree, and at those games or after those games, the fans can go down onto the court afterwards and actually get on there and meet the players and get their selfies and autographs and shake hands and things like that. Is that something that you're also encouraging, to allow fans to interact with the players that way?
Most definitely. I mean, it's one of the most important offerings when you attend a NZNBL or a GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi game. We want our players to be accessible and the fans to be included. We believe this helps set us apart from an entertainment product in New Zealand.
Yeah, and the game day experience, or the game night experience as the case may be, do you closely work with the clubs on that, the individual clubs, or do you basically let them look after that themselves?
We work with our teams on all operations, from behind the scenes to the game day experience. I mean, shout out to my team who are always there for our teams. I mean, we're in this together.
Mm. And you mentioned the women's competition, the Tauihi competition starting on the 12th of July, I believe. What are your hopes for that competition in 2023?
Yeah, well, 2022 was the inaugural year, and we're proud of how the league took shape. For it to keep growing and I guess to continue to be successful, we'll keep building with a step-by-step approach, and, can't wait till the season tips off in July.
Good stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of positives, but I know with any sport and in any industry, there are challenges as well, Maree. Are there particular challenges, ongoing challenges that basketball faces in New Zealand?
I mean, the sport is growing so fast. We need to make sure we can keep attracting partners and strong presence in the media to help us take the game to, I guess, a Tier 1 status in New Zealand. I mean, we're not quite there yet, but we're not far away.
Fantastic. Maree, it's been great to get the chance to chat to you. Presumably you're enjoying yourself in this role. It's quite new, isn't it? You've only been in the role a couple of months?
Yeah, I started at the beginning of the year. I've been around basketball for quite a while, mainly in the operations space, but moving into the GM role has been actually been an exciting and challenging at the same time. And yeah, I look forward to what the rest of the season and the year brings for me.
Good on you, Maree. Hey, great to get the chance to chat to you. Congrats to you and your team on what's happening around the sport of basketball in New Zealand. And like you, we look forward to seeing how the year plays out and the years ahead as well. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks so much.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.
Hello, I'm Liam Dan, Business Editor-at-Large for the New Zealand Herald, and I'm back with another season of my podcast, Money Talks. In this series, we're not going to tell you how to get rich. We're not going to try and pick the next interest rate move. Instead, I'll be talking to some interesting New Zealanders about how money has shaped their lives and what they've learned about it through the years. Join us every Saturday for a new chat with an exciting range of guests from the world of business, politics and entertainment. You can find Money Talks with me, Liam Dan, wherever you get your podcasts.